Hi, I'm Sam Scheidler from Clark Mortgages. I'm a mortgage broker specialising in complex mortgages from residential to commercial portfolios. And I wanted to talk about holiday lets. Holiday lets are Airbnbs nowadays. They're synonymous with that. It's the staycation. We all remember 2020 came and went. We couldn't fly anywhere from the UK. All of these travel restrictions. It became so much easier for us to just decide to make use of the countryside, go to Cornwall, Devon, Northeast, wherever you wanted to go. There was a villa there ready and waiting for you. And that probably sparked a massive increase, as far as I saw, of people looking to buy holiday lets. Airbnb's values increased and increased. We've got various other providers like cottages.com and Sykes, all of them pushing the holiday let as a viable alternative to a typical jollies away. In this case then, that's created a void that needed to be filled, large demand, needs more stock, therefore people invest in property. Airbnb commands a much higher gross rental yield compared to a traditional buy-to-let. Short-term lets in general command a much higher yield compared to traditional buy-to-let. The reason for that is flexibility. I say that flexibility increases price in mortgages. The same applies in buy-to-lets. It's supply and demand. Now we're going from tenancy agreements agreed for a guaranteed stay of 6 to 12 months to no tenancy agreement in place, or very short tenancies of only a month, meaning that there's an added cost for the landlord in that they have to source alternative tenants week after week, month after month. More processing power means higher price. The more active an investment is, the higher a price it commands. And so as a result, Airbnb and all of these other profiles have created a great market because they will source those clients for you. You know, there's people on booking.com all day, every day, looking for places to go. As a result, as I say, people are now investing in holiday lets. A property I've seen around here in Chester that you might look to rent out for £1,000 a month as a flat, a 1-2 bed, you can command £140, £150 per night. If we look at just a 20-day occupancy over the course of a 30-day month, you're still coming away with £2,800 to £3,000 of rent, as opposed to that £1,000 you were making. The difference is then all the costs that come on top. You get 20% taken from Airbnb. You've got cleaning costs, you've got everything else in between. There's higher costs, and so the net profit probably isn't quite as dramatic, but it is absolutely true that people make a lot more money out of a holiday let than they do a buy-to-let. The other crucial thing, which I quite like, is the mortgage options are so much more flexible. So you can buy properties with holiday lets on the basis of a rental valuation of its holiday let yield. The more expensive a property becomes, generally the less efficient the yield is from a traditional buy-to-let standpoint. You know, you can rent a £4 million property for, say, 15 grand a month, 20 grand. That's all well and good, and it's no small amount of money to be sniffed at. But if you look at a percentage yield, £100,000 property where you're getting £800 a month is actually more efficient. So it becomes harder to source a traditional buy-to-let mortgage for these more expensive properties. However, these are incredibly popular places for people to spend a week in. Not everyone's got the money to spend 20 grand to spend a month or 6 months or however much. But they might have, 5 grand to buy a villa for a week as a holiday. It's a holiday commitment. And so it becomes assessed on the basis of the holiday let yield, which means all of a sudden we can get 75% buy-to-let mortgages, holiday let mortgages, to the value of the property you're buying, when a traditional buy-to-let perhaps wouldn't have worked out. There's still got to be a demand for it. You've got to buy properties that are good draws for holiday lets, but holiday lets probably doesn't quite describe the market as well as it used to. It is holidays, but it's also, short-term lets for contractors and that kind of thing. It's not ultimately always for holiday use. The criteria I most like about it is that you can make use of it yourself. A buy-to-let you can't occupy yourself. A holiday let is written into the criteria that you can usually make use of it for 2 to 3 months of the year. And because it's not assessed on an affordability perspective, even if you don't earn enough to buy that kind of property as a second home, because you've then committed to the lender that you're going to be looking to rent it out for a certain amount of time to make that mortgage self-sustaining, you then are able to buy that property that you couldn't afford as a second home based on your earned income, but you can make use of it for say 2-3 months of the year. So it's income and personal use. Now there's other risks involved. As I say, it's a much more active investment. The more people come and go from a place, the higher traffic it is, the more chance there is for things to go wrong. You know, damage, theft, all kinds of things that you have to be careful of. There's regulatory considerations. Also, it's a different type of taxable income compared to normal property. You've got to do your due diligence. However, it can be a very, very lucrative way of investing in property nowadays.